Hello everyone, welcome back to Coach Quip. I'm Coach Robyn.
I'm Coach Chris.
This is episode 152 and this is a fun one. We're going for top gear, what some of our edge coaches have as picks for their very favorite gear.
I love it. We love the round robin ones where we ask our coaches to give their input, but also gear is just a fun thing to talk about.
They were very excited to share.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have our favorite things, right? That we always look forward to, or just the things that you notice over and over and over that you grab. It can be sometimes a bit of a safety blanket, right? It makes you feel secure, or maybe it makes you feel powerful, or maybe it makes you feel calm. It's really, I think, like a rite of passage for all levels. Like I remember when I started like getting more and more into running, and I had this long sleeve cotton t-shirt that I loved. Mm-hmm. This was a long time ago. This was like when these were like the technical tees, and they weren't. It was like 100% cotton.
Yep.
But it was like my favorite thing to run in over and over and over.
Mm-hmm. And I think we all have a piece of gear like that. There is like a little bit of nostalgia about it. But certainly there are certain things that make our lives just a lot easier and a little more functional too that could be our favorites.
And the fun thing about these answers, and we'll get into them in a hot second, is that they're all pretty low tech. Like, you know, we came up with this idea to ask the coaches. We have these bi-weekly calls with the coaching consortium, and sometimes we have, you know, like serious topics like dealing with, you know, mental hurdles during, you know, peak week, and other times we're literally asking things like this of like something fun. What's your favorite gear? No one, not one person said something fancy like, you know, $300 carbon-plated shoes,
right.
Which I kind of anticipated somebody might, just because those are fun. But really, they gave really practical, actionable answers, which means they use them a lot, which means you can too.
Right. Yep.
A funny story about right after we did this call, we just had a new coach start. She's not new to coaching. She's just new to us, Coach Cass. And I think it was her first coaching call before she had even met a lot of you all in person. Mm-hmm. And, you know, she had her answer, which we'll get to in a second. And Coach Katie had her answer, and there were more than just those two on the call, but that's what we talked about. Mm-hmm. And the next morning, Coach Cass meets me for training and walks in the front door, and literally she's wearing her favorite piece of gear, and Coach Katie is wearing her favorite piece of gear, and they both were like, at the same time. So it could not have been better times. And it was just really hilarious because then they introduced themselves to each other, and it's like they already knew who they were because of their gear.
Yeah, that's very, very funny. Well, why don't you kick us off? What is your favorite piece of gear? All
right. Mine is my hat, which is why I'm wearing it right now. For so many reasons, and we're going to give you some of the coaches' reasons for these two, because I thought they were really funny. Mine's very practical. It honestly acts like hair and makeup in one. Like, and especially when coaching. Mm-hmm. Like, I love, if I want to feel ready, I just pop it on. It's usually a black one, right? Because I like to be a little stealth mode. Uh-huh. I also like that it gives me a little bit of privacy. Like, if I need to like think for a second, or just like put my head down, whether it's I'm having a hard section of my own workout, or I need to do math on the track, like I have a way to create like a bubble with less distraction, and I find it really, really, really helpful.
Okay, so mine also, I said, would be also hats. So we are equal there. And I love the privacy piece of that. That's such a funny...
awesome.
It is definitely a safety blanket for me.
Yeah.
And when I travel, I like to have it on because I just like to, like, you know, be a little incognito. But yes, I did have my hat here.
I feel like you have a better collection of hats than me.
I have a ridiculous collection of hats. This one is the first wear of this, but it doesn't match, so I'm not going to wear it now. Anyway,
I think it goes.
Now I'm very curious about your face doing math at the track, but I love that answer.
I think I get overwhelmed when especially Thursday mornings at Montrose have been wild this summer. I mean, We start early, so while we're still warming up and doing drills, it's normal. But then all of a sudden, we get into main sets, and I'm having to quickly, I have everything written out, but sometimes I'll adjust the workout. Mm-hmm. And as I'm doing that, you know, there are 50 other people on the track, and I'm making sure they're offboarding, onboarding. I might need a little bit of privacy.
Yep.
Like just to think, give myself some less stimuli, and that is definitely the way to go.
Yep, that makes sense. I feel that.
Why do you like hats?
I like the shade, so I love to run in a hat, even if it's super hot outside, because I can dump water in it and it still keeps me cool. I like hats better than I like visors. Even though visors might vent a little more, I'm just more comfortable in a hat. And yeah, the privacy piece, I just love to like be able to pull it down. I think it's the best tool if it's snowing, if it's raining.
Windy?
If it's windy.
For me and my wispies, I just tuck them in and go.
But now I'm going to always think of it as It's hair and makeup.
It is hair and makeup in one. It is the laziest thing you can do and still look put together.
I love it.
And
so
you just wear all black and bam, you got yourself an outfit.
It's such a good one to start.
I did have a secondary one, and it's not really gear, but it's gum.
And why? I mean, I know.
I love a gum. I love a gum moment. I actually wanted to put some in for this, but then I chomp, and it doesn't sound great on the podcast.
Right.
So, it does also make me feel ready when I'm getting a workout in. It makes me, kind of wakes me up, especially in the summer. I'll do a lot of like strong mint, and if I'm like a little tired, it's like, woo, I'm back. It obviously makes it easier to breathe, especially because it's minty, and I get really thirsty. Training and coaching, just from talking, especially strength coaching, because I'm talking a lot, and I'm usually sucking down a lot of water too, but gum just helps me kind of have my mouth not get quite so dry. But I will always have gum in.
Yeah, I mean, it's in every spot that you frequent. Yeah. It's in your office. It's in the coaching area.
I got 2 packs in my backpack right now.
But also, I think it seems like a little bit of priming for you as well.
Yep.
Like you said, it makes you feel ready. And I noticed that when you come to my strength classes, you have to pop your piece of gum at the start. I think part of it is because you don't want to do jumping jacks. If we're being
getting
honest.
out of some format.
But also, it's like, okay, it's go time, and I love that.
Yeah. So feel free to steal that, everyone. That is extremely low cost, low entry.
Yeah.
All right, next up was Coach Ian, who said, and I think I tried to anticipate some of the coaches' answers. This was not on my radar. Split shorts, which if you don't know what split shorts are, they're typically, I think women just call them shorts, but guys will call them split shorts. They're the really short running shorts that you see that have kind of the split side where the front is usually pretty separate or has a nice big slit. So to really allow for it to be nice and cool and comfortable, and like, of course, they're lined because that would be a disaster for everybody, anyone wearing split shorts. So it's very much like everything's all in one piece. And they're also really, really cool. And I think personally, they make me feel really free.
Yeah.
But yeah, Coach Ian was just talking about how, he puts them on and he feels like he could just go kind of forever. Like it's the thing that's not restrictive. He's just able to run. And like, of course, you're not going to hold anything. Maybe that's part of the beauty.
Yeah.
You can't take your phone in a split short.
Oh, there's no pockets.
They're very lightweight. There's no structure to them, right?
Right.
But it was interesting too in the Olympics to see like so many of the steeplechasers, which this, right? But a lot of athletes will do shorts, or guys call them half tights, like the spandex that go, 5-8 inches. But a lot of the steeplechasers or hurdlers will opt for the split short because it does have more of a mobility component to it.
Yeah, the split shorts are basically, a Speedo, a brief with that fabric over the top.
Yeah.
And it's 1, 2, or 3 inch. I think that's like that's probably the longest that they'll be for a split short.
It's a 5.
I don't think 5 would be a split short, really. 5 would just be like regular short with a little notch. But we're talking the slit goes up on the ones that I have up to the waistband.
Yep.
And there's like a little fabric overlap.
You're going to see some bum.
Oh yeah. But you get a side booty, and so I love that. Because what it also does is I think that there's like a confidence piece in there where you're just like, if you look fast, you feel fast.
Yeah.
Like you look good, you feel good. And hearing Coach Ian be like, it makes me feel like an Olympian. Like I could just go.
He's chasing that sub 4.
I love it.
In his split shorts. When you see him at the Chicago Marathon in the split shorts, you'll know.
Yeah. Don't catcall, but do cheer. All right, next up was Coach Cass, and this is what she was wearing when she met Coach Katie, and this is a hoodie. So hoodies are, gosh, is there a better safety blanket than a hoodie?
I do this every morning.
Yeah.
I will put a hoodie on coming out of bed.
Yeah.
Every morning, no matter
wow.
what. Yeah. Does not matter how hot or cold it is.
Oh.
I love it.
It's just, it's great for warming up. It's great for starting warm. It's great for sweating. It's great just as comfort. I think, whether it's a pullover hoodie or a zip-up hoodie, just like, I don't even think that I wear the hood all that much, but just knowing that it's there that I could is like just it's just so cozy. So that was Coach Cass's rocking the hoodie.
I will wear a hoodie, and this, like working out, I will wear a hoodie, but I get hot real fast, and then it has to come off.
Yeah.
I feel like it's killing me.
Yeah. But also, thinking about priming, if that's the way that you start your warm-up, then I know when you are warm because when you start to shut the clothes, okay, now it's time to really work out.
Yeah, I get really hot really fast. But I think Coach Cass probably is much better at keeping that hoodie on for even longer. She's probably a better tolerance for heat. She's like, I'll leave it on because that's how I get my workout. And I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
You and Pat Dwyer.
Yeah.
Remember that class where he wore the hoodie the whole time?
I was challenging him. I was trying to get him to sweat it out and take it off, and he refused.
He refused. He kept the thing on the whole time.
Yeah. So when Coach Cass walked in, she saw Coach Katie, and Coach Katie was wearing, if you know Coach Katie and see her around, you know what this is going to be, but it is her trusty hydration vest. I feel like that is attached. If I saw her without it, I might be like, excuse me, who are you?
Yeah, right.
It's like a part of her identity now. Coach Katie was saying how it's sort of like armor, you can hold all the things. It's just such a utility tool, particularly for people who are doing those long distance runs, but you know that you have everything on you then at that point. So you have all your pockets, your nutrition, your hydration, chapstick, your gum, everything. Katie's got it. So, it's like a little MacGyver vest.
It's great.
Yeah.
It is. And you also aren't panicking about, do I have food and nutrition? It's literally on you. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's a good one.
You just have to wash it a lot. That's the next one. All right, next up was Coach Worm. I really loved his answers. He kind of gave two. The first one you could kind of assume from him, which was racing flats, which he is a huge proponent of using different shoes for different things and not always using the same shoe. We actually have, we had this messaging out to our run club, and we're actually sending a portion of this out to our members in an email tomorrow too, just about the importance of, you run in a shoe and the foam does not come back for 24 hours. So if you did a run on Thursday at any time and you're trying to use that shoe again on Friday, it is not ready for you, right? Carbon plate or not carbon plate, it's not ready. So there is a lot of power to being able to rotate through those shoes, and he specifically loves racing flats because they are faster, and they, I'm sure for him, bring him back to his, collegiate and trialing days. So that was the obvious answer. The less obvious answer, which if you don't know Coach Worm, he is a very, very accomplished runner, 2-time Olympic trials, almost 3-time, he was by 2 seconds Olympic trials marathoner. Did you know that story? No. Oh, that would be a good one to have him on.
Yeah.
Really good story about resilience, but he also has always really been into hockey, and his kids are both into hockey. So now he's on this. He got started a couple years ago doing kind of the adult hockey league and got really into it. And now he has his own team, and it's literally Worms Hockey Club, like plural, like many worms. And it's a really cute logo. It's green and yellow with a worm. And he really said, like, my favorite gear is literally anything that has a logo on it. I think, he is just, it brings him so much joy. So he's like, put it on a hat, put it on a shirt, I'll wear it. And he just wears it with so much pride that he wants to carry it with him, even though that makes no sense. Why are we wearing a Worms Hockey Club logo on a singlet? But it works for him because that's his favorite. That is now his favorite piece of gear.
Yeah.
I guess he knows what he's getting for his birthday. Dear T-shirt belly.
Yes, exactly. He could probably have every color with that logo on it. No, but I think that goes back to it's a lot of this is just about the mental piece, that comfort, that like affiliation that you have with it. So I remember the first hoodie that I got when I was sponsored by Nike. I still have, and this thing is shredded. It's fallen apart. It has been relegated to the van. Like, I'm not allowed to wear it anywhere but camping. Yeah. But it just brings me so much joy, and I feel like it evokes so many feelings for me to see it, to have it, to wear it. It's a similar thing with Coach Worm of just being able to be really proud of this, and slap that logo on the keychain, the sticker, the button, the hat.
He ready. Coach Worms.
Yep. Well, my piece of gear is, aside from the hat, would be sunglasses. So I've got.
Why?
Well, I think that this is also probably, when you said the privacy piece, that is like
it does. It gives you ultimate privacy.
It gives me just the opportunity to be in my own world and not have people be able to look through my windows.
Yeah, that's true.
I think also just I'm not a huge fan of squinting, and want to make the Botox last, and when I'm in between sessions, don't want to make it worse for myself. But I'm not great at sunscreen, but I do love my sunglasses, and I feel like that
we have got to get you on the sunscreen train.
I'm much more on it than
than
I have been in the past.
If you're a dermatologist and you're listening, please send sunscreen to Coach Chris. You can use the Edge address. I will get it to him.
As someone who has had skin cancer spot removed, I am much more on it.
Excellent.
So, yeah,
I agree with you on sunglasses.
Yeah.
I probably wear them equal amounts as a hat.
I wear them with a hat.
Yeah.
And that's like ultimate privacy, and I just love to lock it in. Also, I think it narrows my focus a little bit. So like here, I'm seeing all of this, and it's not that I don't have peripheral vision in my glasses, but it just feels a little more like this is it right here in front of me. And for my training, that really helps me dial it in.
Do you have a hierarchy of sunglasses?
I have so many, like hats, like shoes, like everything. I have so many sunglasses. I have dark ones. I have like the yellow ones, the red ones, and I love the opportunities that I have to wear the fun ones.
Yeah.
Like if I can wear my yellow ones, I just think it's so cool. I have clear ones even, and for cycling, I also
that's what Brian uses.
Absolutely have to have sunglasses on when cycling, just because of bugs in my eyes.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
I have a pair that is a very fancy Nike running pair, and I love them.
Yeah.
But I make myself save them for like a hard run. I'm like, oh no, you don't get that. You can only use that for like the long or the intensity ones. Recovery miles, you don't get the good glasses.
Yeah, I raced in a dollar store pair of glasses. I think they were actually kids' glasses.
Oh,
they were red with the dark.
Yeah.
When I raced this weekend, because that was what I had.
Oh boy.
So, and they were great.
You were much more tolerant than me. All right, last but definitely not least is Coach Jace. His was so practical, and I've seen it in person, which is a sweat towel. He keeps it right on his waistband. You can see him when he's coaching. He has it on it. He doesn't like wipe his brow that much with it, but he will like wipe his hands, maybe like dab a little. But definitely while riding, and he's doing his first half marathon this fall, so he's like, as the mileage gets up, he's like, it's so hot, especially when I'm doing my long stuff, so I like keep it kind of tucked in, and then I can just, so it's not constantly getting in my eyes. I'm like, that's a great move.
Yes.
Wow, that is pro. He also has a football background, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Right? It's so, I'm like, why do we not do that? It makes a lot of sense.
It does, but it's not part of our sport history, right? Like, but here's me wiping my dirty hands on my face.
No, the towel's a better idea.
Much better idea.
Yeah, it's a much better idea. But I was like, wow, I could. Trail runners, I think, do it a little bit more. Like, we'll definitely see them with like washcloths and their little hydration packs, Coach Katie.
Right.
I'm sure she has that in there. But yeah, it's a cool idea to think about what you can do during. And he even said, well, sometimes I get it like icy cold, and then I can wipe things down. And I'm like, oh, that's smart.
So functional. Yeah.
Okay, now you have it. It's the top gear list brought to you by our coaches. We want to hear about your top gear because we know that you all are rocking some things that we have not thought about. So please do a little story post, do a little post, DM us. We want to hear about it. Till next time.
Thanks for listening to Coach Quip. Original music performed by Mend. Follow us online on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Edge Athlete Lounge. Our podcast lives in the blog section of our website. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast, and you can check out the show notes for additional ways to contact us. Ready, set, onward we go.